Hey guys, my name's Ed and I'm here with Byte Thoughts. Today I'm going to be using this Sony Vaio Core II Duo laptop. I'm going to see if I can play some retro games natively from the original CDs. So stay tuned. This one has Windows Vista installed, so I think that's going to be the main problem of getting some of these games working. I want to try and see if I can get them working straight out of the box. So I'll tell you how I get on. Hey, so I've got a bunch of games I'm going to try and play. These are games I either picked up from flea markets nearby or I've got off of eBay. I don't have my typical retro hardware here with me, so the oldest piece of computing kit that I could find at my in-laws was this Sony Vaio. So in general, let me start off with the games that I could work straight out of the box. I plug in the CD and the installer went straight away, and I didn't need to use compatibility mode, didn't need to use anything to get it working. The one game that did that was SimCity 3000, which was pretty impressive. This came out in 1998, so I'm not sure what they did for it to work straight away, but that one did. For my second category of games, I've got a bunch of games here that installed straight away through Windows Vista, but I had to do some tweaking to get these games working. Kingpin actually ran straight away. I had to put it into compatibility mode with Windows 98. You set that through the properties. It did run, but it was extremely choppy, really slow, choppy frame rate. What I did to get this running well was to download some OpenGL drivers, put those files directly into the install directory of the game, and this one runs pretty nicely, so that's pretty good. Another game that ran with a little bit of tweaking was Quake II. I had to find a guide to do a manual install of this in Windows Vista because the installer wasn't allowing it to run. I'll post the link to those steps in the description below, but essentially I just had to just do some installer through the DOS command prompt instead of using the built-in Windows installer. But that runs really well. So that's two games that ran pretty well like that. Another one was Homeworld. The installer worked for this, and I could get into the game, but for some reason this was really choppy. I'm not sure what it is. I tried to use the OpenGL. I tried to use the compatibility mode. Unfortunately, nothing really works on this one. I don't know why that's not working. So this one's probably the first failure. Although it did install and I could get into the game, I couldn't really play it. So it's the first failure. Now, two other games which I really wanted to try out: the original Quake and Duke Nukem 3D. For both of these games, the installers worked straight away, which was great, but when trying to play it through the compatibility mode, they didn't want to run. The only way that I could get these two games running was to use DOSBox. So DOSBox is a DOS emulator that you can put in, and both games ran nicely through DOSBox, but I had to, especially with Quake, had to run it at a lower resolution. I think because DOSBox is emulating DOS, it actually takes quite a lot of processor power to run that. So even something as old as Quake, I had to run it in 640 by 480 to get a nice frame rate. But otherwise, those two games, got them running. Arguably using DOSBox is a little bit cheap. Now for my final two games, which were my oldest two that I wanted to try. I wanted to try Alone in the Dark 3 from 1994 and Micro Machines 2, which is from 1995, I think. Both of those didn't want to work in compatibility mode, didn't want to work either in DOSBox. So unfortunately, these two games, I'm going to have to keep them for some real hardware for my 486 at home. So out of the 8 games, all but 3 of them I could get running, which I think is pretty good. So if you're stuck somewhere and you find some old games in a second-hand shop or on a flea market and you want to try them out, and if all you've got in the house is a Vista machine, with a little bit of Googling, you might be able to get them working. So it's always worth a shot. And it's, if not, you can always go to Good Old Games or Steam and download there. Anyway, I hope that was interesting. Talk to you again soon. Bye.